Hello, Mr. Charles. Welcome to Saturday racing at, well, this should be your home turf, Del Mar, Southern California. Yay.
My old stomping grounds.
I've only been out there, I think, once or twice to Southern California. It was a good time when I was out there for sure. So hopefully we can do a little better than we did on Friday. Friday was a little bit of a tough day for the two of us.
Yeah, we started off good, but boy, it goes sour fast. Well, all those long shots, boy, they were just one after another.
Yeah, well, I wish I had excuses, but unfortunately, I don't have any because, well, I could have had some of them. If you go back and review our way to the winner's worksheet, there were quite a few of them that were kind of lone horses in there. And when you have those lone horses, sometimes you got to just make those upgrades on your own, even though they might not look that good on paper. Yeah, anyway. So you ready for Del Mar today out in Southern California? I think the weather's supposed to be nice out there all day today.
Yeah, it's dry weather basically, which when it's dry weather like this, I've in the past, it makes the track very fast because it's got those Santa Ana winds. Even though this is on the actual coast itself, it's still pretty windy there.
So it should be fast and furious racing at Del Mar. Let's get cracking in race number one then. What do you say, Charles?
All right, sounds good to me.
Race number one at Del Mar is a 1 mile turf race, optional claiming, $20,000. Got a nice size purse here on this one, 72 grand. And the sort of horse that typically wins that kind of race, Charles, looks like a 1 mile turf horse. You want one that comes from off the pace. It doesn't really matter where they leave in terms of post positions. We want to talk a little bit about our way to the winner circle worksheet real quick. Again, just a real quick recap. If you think about them in the plane, the E-horses are pilots. They want to be on the lead. That's how they've won in the past. EP horses are those that can pilot or co-pilot, and usually within 2 lengths of the lead at the quarter-mile marker. The P horses, they like to co-pilot. They have not won recently as the leader, but they can sit within 2 lengths of the lead. The PC horses, they can co-pilot or sit in the cabin and try to move their way forward. And of course, the C always sits in the cabin, at least recently, and closes for the win. We see any horse in here that does have a race pace advantage. It is this blurry 6 horse, it looks like to me, does have an early race advantage, likely to be your pace setter. On the way home, this PC horse, the 1 horse on the rail, does have the most late pace. And if you combine early pace and late pace, has the best combination of the two. So likely to run a complete race from beginning to end. All right, Charles. Well, why don't you begin our picks, my friend, and tell us what you got here.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you. The last thing you just finished saying there, that the 1 horse is going to go from beginning to end. This horse won the last 2 times. Steve Knapp, which is a very good trainer. He's not well known on the outside of California, but he does a really good job there in California. I know him, and he's 19% with first time after the claim. This horse has tactical speed, so I think this horse is sitting on another win here.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
You know him, but would he admit to knowing you?
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah, he would. Yeah, we hung out enough. He was always the track, and I trained at the training center. So
I'm just busting your chops, Charles.
No, I know, I get it. But yeah, sometimes he even helped me, board my horses when I transfer them to the track. So very nice guy. Like I said, very, very good trainer, but not well known outside of California overall. The 4 horse here is the pretty much the lone closer. O'Neill is hot in his last 14 days. I believe his assistant's taking over while he's sitting out for, I don't know how many, 2 weeks, whatever it is. But anyway, this horse ran 3rd last time out, and this horse should be knocking on the door at the end. The 7 horse here ran 4th the last time out, but it was only a half a length off the winner. So very good race for that horse. Jockey trainer combo here, Carla Gaines and Joe Bravo, great combo. He rides for her all the time there. So this is the 2nd after a layoff. And so look for them to do some damage for the exotics. And then my final pick here is the 6. The 6 won last time out, which was the maiden race for this horse. But the horse is 8 for 12 on turf. So horse is always right there. This horse fits with this group, I believe. So I think that would finish out my exotics.
So I'm going to go with the number 1 as my best bet. Coming right out of the gate swinging, Doc Adams did run better pace numbers in the first half mile of its last race. First claim off the bench for your friend, Steve Knapp, who wins at 19%, first time off the claim, ordinarily a 12% trainer. So that's an alpha angle and does have the advantage, a plus advantage, if you combine the early, middle, and late parts of the race. So this horse should run complete race from start to finish. Number 6, 4 Flag. This thoroughbred has a plus early pace advantage at 2 furlongs. At Del Mar, out 4 times, 3 seconds and a third. As you mentioned, Charles, is coming off that maiden win. I'm not the biggest fan of maiden special weight risers, but did run a really good race last time out. Resume says that the second off the bench is going to be better. So I do think it'll be competitive for back-to-back W's. Number 4, Worse Reed Sanchez. This one should be closing. Did run a little bit better fractions last time out. And off the pace has been the way to win at 1 mile on the turf. Then finally, number 3, Big Hand. This racehorse ran some crazy fast opening fractions for the first half mile last time out. Has some real nice workouts in between races. This is the second off a layoff. Just 24% winner for a 14% trainer, Tim Yakatine. So if they don't have to run so fast time around, Big Hand might have a big say in how this race plays out. Race number 2, Charles, is a 6 furlong claiming for $40,000 race. The purse is for $47,000. Our profile of a winner at 6 furlongs on the main track. Tactical speed, not necessarily need to be on the front, but there's absolutely an outside to inside post position bias. So you might want to pay attention to that if you're trying to break a tie between 2 horses. Our way to the winner's worksheet, winner's circle worksheet. We see here that we have versatile horses no matter which way you look at it. You have 2 EP horses, 4 PC horses. In other words, these guys can be pilot or co-pilot, and these quartet back here can find themselves either pressuring for the lead or closing if the pace is too fast. Looking at the early race, the 1 horse and the 2 horse, my first left arrow horse of the day, those 2 probably are going to be the ones that lead the charge when the gates open, Charles. So when they hit that finish line and they take the photo, how do you see them lining up?
Yeah, this one's an interesting race. This could go 6 different ways, I guess. It really can. I'm going to go with the Steve Knapp Daily Double here, the 2 horse.
You're being a homer.
Yeah, well, here's the reasons why for this horse for me. This horse was claimed last time out, okay? And it was 2 months. This horse has been off for 2 months, okay? And he comes right back at the same claiming level. Steve Knapp knows that he has free reins with this horse right now. When you're off 2 months, you could drop this horse like a bomb. Most likely no one's going to touch him if you drop him like a bomb. So he's not going to be playing games. He knows that he's got something there. And I like the way the horse runs too. So I think he's got a heck of a shot. But he will have to beat the 6. One last time out, the trainer gets 25% first after the claim. Solid works, has speed. He could probably steal this whole race wire to wire. So he's going to have to worry about the 6 there. The 1 horse is my third choice. Another one that has the speed, back on dirt, hot at the claim box. So you got to look out for that horse. And then end up with the 5 with my final choice here. 1 last time out, claim last time out, moves up actually a lot after he got claimed. But Glatt claimed this horse for himself. And he's one of those type of trainers. He's a very good claiming trainer. And so look out for this horse a little bit. So that opened up my eyes when he claimed it for himself and moves him up that much. So
yeah,
wide open race in my opinion overall, but that's my final 4 picks.
I'm going to go with Mickey from Wexford as my first selection in race number 2 at Del Mar. Has some versatility as an EP horse, can get on the lead, can play co-pilot. But despite being forwardly placed, does have the best late pace in the race and also catches a weight break. So late pace, weight break towards the front could be very hard to catch. Number 4, Joker Boy. This is an all or nothing horse at Del Mar. Ran 5 times at Del Mar. 2 wins, nothing else. It's not won anywhere else either. So it's all or nothing at Del Mar for certain. But when you look at the Del Mar numbers, they are the best for this group. Number 2, as a matter of fact, is my left arrow horse in here. First time gelded, does have a bullet workout on November the 11th. It was the fastest of 41. And it was pretty quick too. And then finally, number 1, my final choice here, Bochambo. This one has a chance to be the top early pace setter as the gates open with a most complete package from beginning to end. Is flipping from turf to dirt, where he's run his best numbers on dirt by a decent margin. So we'll see if the return to dirt can make a big difference for Bochambo. That's a heck of a name right there, Charles. Race number 3, 5 furlongs on the turf. We got a couple of these today, so make sure you pay attention to this first one. It is optional claiming 80,000 non-winners of 2 for a purse of $74,000. 5 furlongs on the turf. The sort of horse that wins there is one that does have early speed. Looks to me like the outside posts are better than the inside post. Again, keep that in mind if you're trying to break ties. In race number 3, we got a bunch of stuff going on here, Charles. Looks like everybody kind of wants to maybe be close. So I can see these guys being in a bunch pretty much all the way around the track. The 3 horse does have the most early pace in this race, particularly at the half-mile marker with a plus. That means that's 10 points more than the next closest horse. So at the half-mile marker, the 3 horse here could be the one at Angel Sense that has maybe a length and a half lead on everybody else. Just had some difficulty holding those leads. The 5 horse and the 4 horse should compete. Again, another left arrow horse in here that does have the best early pace, late pace combination in the field. So I think you got another very competitive race in race number 3, Charles. How do you think they're going to end it up?
Yeah, you usually do at these 5 furlongs type of turf races. They're pretty tight overall. But I think there's a standout in here, which is the 2 horse, Pete Miller's horse. My neighboring barn trainer, when I train down there, he does excellent with speed horses, and especially on the turf. When they're at Santa Anita, bet Pete Miller when they go down the hill. That's all I can say. Miller gets a 21% when he takes a horse from sprint route to back to sprint again. So that's a great angle. He gets Pratt on this horse. This horse has tons of speed. I see this horse in the winner's circle today. The 4 horse here is my second choice. He drops today, second after a layoff. Wong gets 24% with this move. This horse has tactical speed. And like I said in the past, Wong is a very good trainer. He's starting to spread his wings a little bit and go out further east, but this is where he started right here. And then number 7 is the third choice here. Hot jockey in the last 7 days. Trainer gets 20%. Solid works. This horse should be fresh for this type of race. And then the 5 horse. This horse drops today. Bred for the grass. First time Lasix. So everything says that this horse is probably going to be going for some exotics, in my opinion.
Number 4 for me is where I'm going to start in race 3 at Del Mar. Lexington Humor is my left arrow horse. Does contain the top early pace, late pace combination. So I expect to see the horse be involved from beginning to end. Number 2, your top choice for Peter Miller. Pammy's Ready drops from a grade 3 last time out. Does like Del Mar. Ran there 3 times with a win, a couple of seconds. And then the horse is the lone EP horse in the field too. So it does have the ability, if the race is going too slow, to get to the lead. If the race is going too fast, kind of run a more patient race. Number 7, that's Amare. This is trainer Philip D'Amato. And come on, man, everybody knows you bet D'Amato on the grass. He's teaming up with jockey Juan Hernandez. Together, they have won 4 out of 13. In the money, even more impressively, 11 out of 13. Despite that effectiveness, they still have a plus ROI of 57 cents. So a profitable combination to bet. Last choice in race number 3 is the one. Countless Rosina did run the top last race, speed figure, dropping a class from a non-graded stakes race. I love that combination, top last race, speed figure, off a drop. And then I like it even more when the horse has 3 really good maintenance workouts between races. Race number 4 on the Del Mar card is a 6.5 furlong claiming $20,000 race, purse of $33,000 for fillies and mares that are 3 years old and up. And looking at the profile of a winner for 6.5 furlongs on the main track, early speed is the way that you get to the winner's circle, and it doesn't really look like post position really matters that much. So just look for the horses that maybe break sharp. Our pace worksheet shows us that you have 3 of the horses in the field that want to be in the back. The other 3 are likely to be more forwardly placed, with the one horse being the most likely leader with a plus pace advantage at 2 and 4 furlongs. So likely to get off to a pretty comfortable lead without really working too hard through the first half mile. On the way home, this 5 horse over here does have a plus late pace advantage. So if the race is all kind of packed up and it's just a matter of who has the most late punch, it's going to be that 5. Race 4, Charles, is it's a chance for you to give us your thoughts once again.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off as my first choice is the 6 horse here. This horse drops in class today, cuts back in distance. This horse definitely has some speed. He's below the claiming price where he was claimed at, so this horse could be very dangerous today. The 5 horse here is my second choice. One last time out, trainer gets 23% with claimer repeaters. Jeff Bondi's a 15% trainer overall. So Jeff Bondi trains most of the time in Northern California, but he has now been in Southern California for the last couple of years. This horse has tactical speed, so look for this horse to do some damage. And then the 1 horse, one last time out, claim last time out, and has tactical speed. So this horse can do some damage. Maybe, this is a little tougher competition for him, but I think he's all right in this place. The 2 horse is my final choice. Ran second last 3 times. So this horse is knocking on the door, got some tactical speed, and fits very well with these type of horses.
So I'm going to go with the 1 horse here as my top selection. So it would seem does have that early pace advantage through the first half mile of the race, and really some really good workouts to keep this horse tight coming into this spot. Number 5, Little Rachel, has a plus late pace advantage. So I'm barbell in this race. I'm going to take the one that's going to be in the front and the one that's going to be in the back. As you mentioned, trainer Jeff Bondi hits at 23% when horses are staying in the claiming ranks following a claiming win. That's versus 15% overall. In my book, that's an alpha angle. Number 6 is Like Life. It's a bowl of cherries. Did regress in its last race, so I downgraded a little bit off of that. But I went back and rewound through the past performances and found that most regressions are followed by a rebound. If it can run back just one spot, has a really good chance to win this race, and is the lone pressure closer. And then finally, number 4, Focus First, is the lone P horse that should be better in the 3rd race off of the break. It's going to try blinkers for the first time for trainer Jonathan Wong. It's a 25% angle for him versus 20% overall. So again, we find a alpha angle for Jonathan Wong. And an alpha angle for me too is just when an angle with the trainer has some sort of first time blinker, second time LASIK, some sort of angle that outperforms his overall win rate or her overall win rate. Race number 5 is another 5 furlong race on the turf. This one is a maiden race for $70,000 maiden special weight. Purse is $70,000 as well. We do not have our way to the winner's circle here because there's too many first-time starters to include. But once again, early speed with an outside bias is the way that most horses have found their way to the winner's circle at the distance and surface. This is your Box It Up, Charles, where we put together 4 horses in a $1 exacta box, 50-cent try, 10-cent superfecta box. Tell us about it.
Wow. Now, this is a race that you're going to see a lot of photos here. I think it's totally wide open overall. So The 5 horse that come out with is my first choice, and the reasons why: this horse has ran before, ran third last time. He's 2 for 3 in the money. This horse is well bet last time. I think he's the one that they have to beat, but there's plenty in here that can probably beat him. This horse has tactical speed also. So, with that being said, this horse is probably going to be the favorite at 3-1. A 3-1 favorite means pretty wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So my second choice here is a first timer. This is the number 9 horse. Solid works, very good breeding for the grass. This thing screams that it wants this spot, and probably even further, to be honest with you. And then the third horse, which is an interesting horse. This was one of the horses from one of my clients we were bidding on at a sale. And of course,
inside information here, huh?
We got outbid on this horse, of course, obviously. But this horse looked fantastic at the sale. So I can only imagine what this horse looks like right now. Solid work. Breeding says fast, wants the turf. So look out for this horse. And then the 8 is my final choice in this race. This horse drops. He didn't like Kentucky Downs. Ward and John Velasquez combo. That's not a bad combo to look at. But there's so many others in here that look so good. These are the 4 I ended up with. But like I said, the 5 being the favorite, and I think the one that has the most experience of doing this, has the edge, but not by much.
All right. So for me in race number 5, I'm going to make this my long shot because it is the maiden race. I'm going to start off with number 3, the one that's the one you were trying to bid on. The 9 is the one you were trying to bid on. Captain Sparrow. I do like the workouts for this horse too, Charles. That October 16th workout of 3 furlongs and 35-2. I don't know how you would categorize that, but I would just put it as fast. And if they can run that fast out of the gate in a 5 furlong race, it might be on the lead and very difficult to catch at the end. Number 9, SEAL Team. I'm looking again at an October 24th workout, 5 furlongs in 59-4. It's a good number, almost fast enough, I think. He's a little bit quicker than that and could win this race. Number 5 is the most experienced horse in this race. Had 3 chances to win so far, so that's why I didn't put him first. Ran better fractions, was better across the board when you look at the race internals last time out as the beaten favorite, so burning a little bit of money. I'm not a big fan of that in maiden races either. Trainer Philip D'Amato does rebound at a nice 24%. And come on, man, you got to bet D'Amato on the grass. And then finally, number 6 in here. This is Bluegrass Go-Go. It was a tough call for me over the 7 horse in this spot, Charles. But trainer Doug O'Neill, I know as you mentioned, he's a side, but his barn is off to a really hot start so far at Del Mar, and his horse is better. His numbers in terms of debuting on the maiden special weight at the turf are better than the trainer for the 7, but real close pick for me there between those 2. That one also wraps up, I think, our prime rib pick 4, if I remember correctly. We're starting out of the gate hard. Yes, indeed. Charles, with his creative ticket making here, going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So I guess the 3 horse is the one we got to look out for in race number 2.
That's it.
Race number 3, he's going to single up that 2 horse. Race number 4. So if he makes it to the 5th race, he's a winner for sure, right? If you get that far with the all in that button there. That works out to $90. I'm going to go 3 by 4 by 4 by 4. I wanted to put a little bit more coverage in race number 5 and maybe shorten it up a little bit in race number 2. But I think some of these races are pretty much very competitive, so very difficult for me. This is our $100 budget for a pick 4. Coming up at the end of race 9, we'll have our what we call hot dog ticket, where we only have $20 to put to work. All right, back to the races, Charles, for race number 6. Well, you're going to tell us about your best bet in a moment. In the Desi Arnaz Stakes, which is $100,000 non-graded stakes for 2-year-old fillies. They're going to go 7 furlongs on the main track. The profile of a winner for 7 furlongs, tactical speed. There's absolutely an outside to inside bias so far in 10 races. The rail horse has not won yet. We can once again take a look at our way to the winner's circle worksheet for race number 6. And you can see a perfectly balanced race here. You got 3 horses that want to be on the lead, 3 horses that want to close, one that should sit right between that group and the 5 horse. Your 3 horse has the most early pace. Your 2 horse is a left arrow horse, so should move forward with this crew, has the most late pace. And if you put together the front, the middle, and the back part of this race, the best combination, Charles. But before we go on to this race, I got to say, as a little kid, Desi Arnaz, who this race is named after, he and Lucille Ball babysat me as a kid. I'd come home, turn on WGN here in Chicago, and watch I Love Lucy as a latchkey kid that would come home after home, to an empty house after school. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, I watched plenty of it when I was young too, but yeah, great show. And if you really,
one of my favorite actors, Desi Arnaz. I don't know why, just probably because of little kids, just great memories.
I guess he's the one that invented the moving camera when they had a studio audience where they could still film at the same time. So he's he was a smart man too. So
yeah, so I don't know why he's my favorite actor. Anyway, just tell us about your favorite pick here, your best bet. Charles? Did I freeze or did Charles freeze? I'm not sure who froze. So I'll give you my picks in the event. Charles, I think you froze, Bob. Hold on one second. Let me let him know. Charles, I think you froze, my man. Let me just text him real quick. Forgive us, folks, for the for what's going on here. So let me tell you my picks while we see who it is that froze. For me, in race number 6, I like the 2 horse, which is Parody. This is the left arrow horse here with the top late pace and has a plus early pace, late pace advantage. Number 1, Justique. This horse got off to a slow start in the grade 2 last time out as the beaten favorite. Has a blistering 5 furlong workout on November the 13th, which says that horse might run back to its dominant debut win, although I don't like that winless post at 1 horse. Number 6, Blessed Touch, was better across the board in its last race. So again, when you look at those race internals, better from the beginning to the middle and the end. The only thing I concern myself with there is it had a huge jump in its speed figure in that maiden win in the second try. But I do worry a little bit about that top last race speed figure regressing a bit here. And then finally, number 4, Hunting Coco. Last was not very good at the end of the race, really struggled at the end. If it can run back to its debut, the horse has a good chance, but it looks more like a sprinter to me than a horse that's going to go 7 furlongs, which could be at the very edge of its ability. Let's see if Mr. Charles has not returned as of yet. So maybe his internet is out. Let's see what's going on here. Charles froze. Yeah, I can unfortunately always see that. And hopefully he comes back pretty soon. I don't know if his internet is out because as I texted him, his texts are coming back as undelivered too. So I don't know what's going on in the Charles house. I do know his picks though. So let me just open him up down here and I can put him in there and let you know. And he can fill us in on his thoughts if indeed he does make a return here. So in race number 6, Charles' best bet was the 1. He also likes the 6. He likes the 4. And he likes the 3. And those are his bets right there. Let's see if he's getting back to me yet. No, I'm not getting through even by phone. So I don't know what's going on in the world of Charles. So I guess I'm on my own until he returns, if he does return. In race number 7, we have a 1 mile. There he is. I heard him pop in. All right. So, all right, Charles, you're back with us. I put your picks in for race number 6, but perhaps you can tell us why you like what you like.
Okay. Wow. That was crazy. But anyway, like I was saying, the number 1 horse is my first pick.
I got to tell you, you weren't saying anything.
I didn't say a thing.
No, you just froze and that was that. And with only 2 of us, it's hard to tell who's freezing. So
I know. I was like, hey, you froze. Okay. Well, I heard through the grapevine of all my connections out there in California that the 1 horse is a monster. And it should not have lost that last race. The horse ran 3rd last time out. Well bet. John Sheriff definitely knows what he's doing when he comes to young horses. He's an excellent trainer. So that's my first pick and my best bet of the day. The 6 horse is my second pick. This horse has speed, Broke his maiden, went wire to wire. So this horse definitely does have talent for this type of group. So he could do some kind of damage. The 4-horse drops today. Baffert gets 33% with non-graded stakes horses. This horse is very well bred. Could be another horse of a lifetime for the 5,000th time for Baffert.
You don't like his 2-horse, but was it 2-horse? Does he have the 2-horse in that race? Hold on, let me see. I could be wrong. But just keep continuing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So anyway, the 3rd horse is my final pick. Drops. The Sormo brothers connect back up, and this horse has tactical speed. And when the Sormo brothers connect up, they're pretty dangerous.
Yeah, that the 2-horse is a Baffert horse as well.
Yes,
and he put John Hernandez on there, which I feel like right now he's the top jock out there at Del Mar. So I feel like Baffert's telling us he likes the 2 better than the 4, but Pratt's
on the other one. So how could you really say? So
you really can't go wrong, I guess, either way in that respect. Yeah. But I think he'd want to reward. Pratt's probably going to be out there for the winter, I'd imagine. I don't see him riding in Aqueduct in 5-degree weather, and I don't know if he's going to go down to Gulfstream for the championship meet down there. All right. Anyway, race number 7, Charles, is 1 mile back on the turf, a maiden special weight for $70,000. We started at 1 mile on a turf, so make sure you pay attention to race number 1 so you can make notes for race number 7. Get off the pace, and the post positions have been fair. Our way to the winner circle worksheet for race number 7, we see a very lopsided race over here. Almost all of the horses want to close, all except for 3 horses, excuse me. The 8 is your lone pilot, the only horse that's shown it can get to the lead and win. 3 horse also should provide a little bit of pace. 1 horse being a left arrow horse over here with a plus late pace, early pace advantage in this spot. You know, what the thing is with this 8 horse, you might not like the way he's faded, but you almost are forced to play him as a lone E horse that does have the ability to get to the front. Charles, did you play him?
Well, as for a long shot, that means I played him. I think, yeah. Oops, I'm down another one. The 8 here, like you said, could steal this whole race wire to wire. So ran 4th last time out, only to finish 3/4 of the length off. A good jockey trainer combo. So yeah, kind of have to look out for this horse. I think there's a steal here waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 horse is my next choice, is my second pick here. Been knocking on the door the last 5 times. This horse has tactical speed. So in my opinion, really overall, if the 8 wasn't in here, the 3 would be definitely the horse to beat. But I think the 8 could steal this race. And then the 1 horse is my third choice. Ran 2nd last time out, has tactical speed. Hansen gets 11%. He's a very small barn out there in California. He does a really good job. So that horse should be ready to rock and roll here. And then final is the 5 horse here. It's this the most questionable horse of the day, I think. The horse has been off for 2 months. On paper, there's no listed workouts. But the key thing is, for me, is Drysdale is the trainer here. Drysdale does excellent with horses that ship over. He definitely has his horse in shape. He ain't going to send out no horse that needs a race or 2. He gets 17% with shippers. Pratt gets on this horse, and this horse cuts back in distance. So I see this horse doing some kind of damage for the exotics.
So I like the 1 horse here as my first pick. One more bid is my left arrow horse in here that does have the best combination of early speed and late speed, and actually has a 5-point advantage over the next closest horse. Did run the top last race speed figure, and since it's put in a bullet workout. So we're going to put our Chris Parmalou's angle to the test here. The horse finished 2nd last time out, and he says in these maiden races, always focus on those horses that finished 2nd last time out. So we're putting Chris P to the test with his spot plays. Number 8, one-time mark. You know, honestly, this is a really tough field all together. This is a good box it up race as well. But this is the lone E horse that ran much, much faster fractions last out and still almost hung on at the end. If he can go just a little bit slower today, probably going to go wire to wire. Number 5, that Shipper In from Ireland. If you went back and you kind of reviewed and watched and reviewed that race, horse kind of got off to a slow start, just made a crazy rally at the end. The thing, though, that kind of concerns me a little bit about that horse, that's 5 Horse 6 Magpies, is the fact that the racetrack that it ran at in Ireland, it's not a top-tier track in there. I would have liked to seen the U.S. work, but like you mentioned, Flavian Pat, Neil Drysdale, there's a lot pointing to this horse having a good race. Number 3, my final choice is Quintessence. This horse is always very close. I mean, very consistent performer. Just if you kind of look at the horse, if you read some of the comments even, it looks like the horse is one of those horses that's looking for horses to pass. It kind of waits and hangs at the end. So I'm afraid you might see Quintessence be giving you a lot of hope as they come down the stretch, only to hang once again and finish just so close to the winner's circle. Race 8, Charles, the second to last race, is the second of the $100,000 stakes races at 7 furlongs, named after Cary Grant, big star, I suppose. We do have some scratches in this race. Again, 7 furlongs. Looking at it, you want tactical speed with an outside to inside post position. No rail winners in the 10 at the distance so far. Our pace worksheet says that, well, you got one horse that wants to get to the lead. That's the 4 horse, does have a plus advantage at 2 furlongs, has the second best late pace in the field. Put them together, and the horse has the top combination. All the others, Charles, want to be kind of pressuring the leader or closing off the lead. So that might give the 4 horse in here, Big City Lights, a major tactical race pace advantage. Do you see it that way?
Well, yeah, definitely the horse is going to have an advantage for being on the lead, but I think there's a couple of horses in here that's going to sit right on his tail, and they could take over probably any time. And one of those horses will be the 6 here. This is another Pete Miller horse. Pratt's on. That's a great combo. This horse ran second last time out. And like I said, Pete Miller with speed horses, you always got to look out for, especially at Del Mar. Del Mar is his track now. So that horse I see doing a lot of damage here. The 5 horse won the last 2 times. So we're looking for the hat trick here. The trainer gets 28% of non-graded stakes. So yeah, the horse should be picking up some pieces, the good pieces of the pie here. And then I have that speed horse hanging around for some of the exotics. Ran second last time out, has a hot jockey for the last 7 days. And then my final pick for the exotics is another Pete Miller horse. Vasquez is aboard. They have teamed up for many wins. They add blinkers today, and this horse should be closing. This is one of your closers. So that's how I see it.
I like number 4 in here, Big City Lights. Fast workouts, a lot of them. Does have that early pace race advantage. Last time I was out was the favorite against the 5 horse Chosen Run, but stumbled pretty noticeably at the beginning of that race. Otherwise, it would probably be 4-0, all going wire to wire. If Big City Lights, this thoroughbred, gets a clean start, goes wire to wire as the lone e-horse in the field. Chosen Run, as you mentioned, winner of 2 in a row, loves the fast dirt, 9 times out, 6 wins, a second and a third, and has some of the most late kick in this group. Number 2, I'm going to try to squeeze in a little bit of a price in here with this very short field. It could be, I think this is going to probably be the longest shot in the group in here, but it is the lone P horse with a lot of horses that want to be off the pace. So if it can kind of hug Big City Lights and that duo can get away with reasonable fractions, I mean, if they run 47 and change at the half-mile marker, there will be no catching the 4 and the 2. And then finally, number 6, None Above the Law. This one's going to be closing at the end, Charles, but just another one that if you look at it, to me, just wants to give you hope as the announcer is calling its name down the stretch, just to fall a little bit short at the finish line. That's what I expect to see from None Above the Law today. All right, Charles. In the final race, the nightcap at Del Mar, we have a 1 1/16 mile turf race for optional claiming $40,000. It's the first time we're going to see a 1 1/16 on the turf, and it is a very deep race. I think there's 11 horses in this race. A couple of also eligible. So I think we'll see a full field in here. So far, the bias has favored closers from positions 2 through 7. If you ride the rail or you get an 8 or out, there tends to be a pretty sizable penalty. So you kind of want those middle horses. In the notes here, I think this is an extremely competitive race. It's why I made it box it up. You see there is not any traditional speed in here. The 1 horse is your likely pace setter. The 12 horse, if it gets in, is a left arrow horse. There aren't any scratches yet. We'll talk a little bit about this 12 a little bit more. But all of the horses but the 9 have a similar early pace. All have similar late pace for all of them in here. And all but the 9 have similar early pace and late pace numbers, Charles. So this one is absolutely wide open. It has all the hallmarks of a box it up, Charles. That's why I boxed it up. How are you going to unscramble all of this tangled mess of horses that look the same on paper?
Yeah, pretty much. You're right. So how I'm going to do it is I'm just going to go with the speed to win this race. And that'll be the 1 horse. Ran second last time out, has the speed to go wire to wire. Trainer gets 13%. So I'm just going to say that's how you're going to win this race today.
You don't like the fact that speed hasn't held up well at the distance and the rail has really suffered? Two big negatives working against that.
And like I said, with the weather out there, I think everything's going to be just fine for speed all the way around.
All right.
Then the 3 horse is my second choice. This horse does close very well, drops in class. Here's the interesting thing about this horse. Joe Bravo is riding this horse, and Carla Gaines has a horse, the number 4 in here. And he rode all the time for her, and he has a connection with her. So for him to be on this other horse says a lot to me on this. Either A, 1 or 2 things happen. That's his choice, or B, they made their commitment before she entered her horse. So it's one of the 2. So that's an interesting horse, and it drops, like I said. The 5 horse here is my third choice. Another one that'd be closing. It drops. Pratt gets on, ran third the last time out. So with the 2 also eligible still in the race, I'm still leaning with the 7 because I think they're going to be scratched out the 12 and the 13. The 7 is my final pick here, but I have to admit, if the 13 gets in, I would kick out the 7, put the 13 in this spot. But the 7 here has tactical speed. John Velasquez has been hot the last 7 days, and the 7 fits well in this race with these type of horses.
All right. So for me, this is my box it up. Again, 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent try, 10-cent superfecta. I'm going to start with Kitty Quintana. She's dropping from a grade 3 and has a nice bullet workout. So I expect Kitty Quintana to come into this fair nice and sharp, fit, firm, and ready to run. Number 4, Gillian Elizabeth has the most late pace in the field, full of horses that like to be towards the back. So should have the ability to outrun them all and down the stretch. But what I like about this horse relative to the other closers, it does have a bullet workout. So I think the trainer intends on moving this horse a little bit closer to the front, probably seeing that this race is loaded with horses in the back. Number 10, Batya. This one's coming in from the East Coast, has the most early pace, late pace combination in the field, and has 4 consecutive speed figure increases. So looking to make it 5 improvements in a row in its first race on the West Coast. And one thing you almost always see is these East Coast horses, when they go west, their speed numbers, like everybody else's, pop up. So, and then number 3, Gimme Mo, baby, has been close to the top pick in 2 of their 3 starts. But like you, Charles, not the 13 for me. If the 12 gets in, I'm going to put the 12 where the 3 is in this spot. Let's go ahead and look at our hot dog pick 4s, Charles. And you'll see here that you're going to single that 1 in race number 6. I'm going to go with the 2 and the 1. I'm going to single the 4 in race number 8. And I think I'm on good footing here because our good friend Terry says that his play of the day is number 4 in that 8th race. He's going to put $10 on an exacta 4 with the 5 and the 6. I'm going to single it here. And at the end of my hot dog pick 4, if the 6 doesn't, if the 12 makes it in, it will take the 6's place. So that's how I'm going to do it. But if it doesn't make it in, 6 horse in there, maximum budget for me, 20. Charles is going with 18. Going to live and die with Justique, that monster horse he's heard about, right?
Mm-hmm. You got it.
All right. That wraps up our full card picks for the Del Mar races today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, not so much in Chicago or Buffalo for that matter. They're going to get like 7 feet of snow over there. Holy hell. I mean, can you imagine your shack and you go outside and the snow's up to your eyeballs?
Yeah,
That's
no kidding. But it would have made an interesting football game there, if you ask me.
Well, I don't know where they're going to put all that snow. But anyway, We've been no place to park. I've been to that Highmark Stadium this past summer to see Metallica play there. And there's not a big parking lot. And there's a lot of the parking is like on the streets and stuff. And I think it would be, there'd be like 8 people in the stands because there'd be no place to put the cars. Anyway, my best bet, first race number one for me. Charles' best bet in race number 6, which gives you a best bet long shot double with Charles because he has the 8 horse in race number 7 as his long shot. My long shot is in race number 5. So maybe you can go long shot, best bet long shot for a $1 pick 3 for races 5, 6, and 7. Charles's box it up is in race number 5. My box it up in the last race of the day. Again, 4 horses, put them together for an exacta box, trifecta box. Prime Rib kicks off in race number 2. That's where we have a $100 budget. Charles is going to single the 2 horse. If he makes it to race number 5, it's an all leg. He better hope it doesn't go favorite to get there.
I know.
and then I am going to go with 3 in that first leg and then 4 and 4 and 4. I do agree with Charles that race 5 is wide open with a ton of first-time starters in there. Then our hot dog pick 4 is to close out the card. Charles is going to single up Justique, a monster horse, according to his inside sources, out on the West Coast. I'm going to go with the 2 in the 1 there. I think that 2 is going to give him parity. All he can handle, that Bob Baffert horse. And then finally, that wraps up our picks for our full card picks for Del Mar. Again, look like this. If you're going to bet today at Hawthorne, head on over to Horse Racing Today Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You will find that Hawthorne is the free track of the day. Just click on Hawthorne. You'll see that Awesome Willie, our good friend Jamie, maybe the horse is named after her husband, Willie, 3-1. Morning line taking on a 3-5. So the best bet over there. Again, there's a link in the description below. Make sure you hit that. And you can also support the show by going over to horseracingtoday.net. Up in the menu bar here, you see HRT gear. Click on that HRT gear. Get yourself a See You in the Winner Circle t-shirt. You'll look fantastic for all the holiday parties in the Winner Circle for sure. All right, Charles. That wraps up our Saturday thoughts at Del Mar. Do you have any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here, Charles?
No, that's about it. Like I said, Del Mar is nice, sunny, and where the turf meets the surf, it's beautiful there all day. And get some winners there.
If you're looking for some other winners too, before I forget, if you're going to do some college football today, some hockey, some college basketball, our picks with the professor, a link down there below, Professor Sides, is an actual statistics professor. So it's got some incredible models. That's why his plays of the day are 20.42 units to the plus 6% ROI. It's a hell of a winning percent, 56%. Make sure you use the link down below. Follow him on YouTube as well so you can get all of his picks. All right, Charles, that wraps us up for this Saturday. Next Monday, Terry and I will be back for Parks. Tuesday, we are going to do Horseshoe Indianapolis. Wednesday, I think Churchill. And maybe Thursday, Charles, you want to get together and do Fairgrounds in the morning or not on Thanksgiving morning?
Why not? Let's do it.
All right. So we'll do Fairgrounds because it is a tradition. Thanksgiving at Fairgrounds. On Black Friday, I don't know what Tom and I will do. And then on Saturday, I'm not sure what Terry and I will do, but keep track of us on our social sites down below. And then Sean and Jamie will be together for the week of a great slate of guests on Horse Center. All right. That was a hell of a lot of talking there for me. No matter what it is that you're doing this Saturday, folks, thanks. We appreciate it, Leo. Enjoy the weekend as well. Good luck to you as well. No matter what you're doing this weekend, we hope, Charles, it can only end up in one place, and that is
the Winner Circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic weekend, folks. Look forward to catching up with everybody next week.